And welcome back to the Jeff Meacham Network. If you've been watching me, you're probably sick of the side of my face today. I've been on 3 times today. You're also watching me on the Constantine Studios channel, on the Greg Cherry Brand channel, and the NoDQ.com channel as well. This is the bonus episode of Talk Wrestling for the week. Good evening. Hope you guys enjoyed NXT if you were watching. If not, I hope you enjoyed whatever you were watching during the 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour, the 2 hours that NXT was on. So sit back and enjoy. I thought about this topic for tonight after seeing, I don't remember where I saw it, so forgive me, but Eric Bischoff made some sort of statement about he could, take the talent that had been released by WWE and the unsigned talent throughout the wrestling world and give AEW, a run for their money or whatever the big deal is. Or whatever the phrase was. And I decided to take that kind of in a different context and say, okay, there is so much talent out there right now that is not currently signed to any of the major companies. I know there's one person on my layout tonight that is now, I think, with Impact Wrestling. So forgive me if I have that person there, but there you go. Anyway, and I decided, okay, I'm going to make myself a little promotion here. And in the process, I'm also going to design a introductory card for this promotion, right? So that's what I'm doing tonight. So for all the questions out there, I will get to them. But as I always say on Talk Wrestling, we'll do Ask Anything at the end of the show. But if you have a super chat come in, it'll interrupt me. It'll get my attention. Also, if you direct donate throughout November up through the 27th, the proceeds will go to this lady's funeral fund, Judy Bagwell, friend of the channel, of course, Mark Bagwell. We've known him for many, many years now. Feels like it's actually 1 year shy of my complete time with No DQ. So about 18 years we've known Mark Bagwell. So anything that is directly donated through PayPal at paypal.me/Jeff Meacham will go directly to the fund. The super chats, I only say those aren't going to the fund because I can't get the super chat money withdrawn right away because that's how YouTube works. So otherwise I do everything. I would. All right. So the big story last week, of course, was all the releases that WWE laid down upon the world last week, as they've been doing throughout the course of this year. It's been a lot of people have been let go in the course of this year, and there's a lot of people out there that are sitting there, not working. They're sitting there wondering where their careers are going to go. And I thought, okay, I liked Eric Bischoff's idea of, putting together it's very reminiscent of the way Ring of Honor came together almost 20 years ago, because there was so much talent out there in the wrestling world. And after the demise of WCW, the demise of ECW, and the days before TNA was formed, anybody that wasn't under WWE contract was just kind of like, now what do I do? And Ring of Honor, to their credit, looked throughout the entire independent wrestling world and said, okay, well, let's bring these guys together. Super Card of Honor, the era of honor begins, or whatever the name, I think it was the era of honor begins, the Super Card of Honor, whatever you want to call it. It was just an amazing talent pool. And I figured, okay, let's do this. So what I did was the amount of talent I actually have involved here, I ended up doing 3 tournaments and then one one-off match for a championship. So this is how the cards lay out. It's a 2-nighter. And let me kind of got to get rid of that banner because it covers up part of it, of course. So night 1 there, you've got the quarterfinals and the semifinals of the women's and tag team tournament. And then you have the first round of the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. And then on night 2, and I realized that Judy banner's in the way, so let me just clean that up also. I just realized that. On night 2, you had the semifinals and finals of the women's tournament and the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of the World Championship tournament. And, of course, the semi-main event is what I'm going to have be an Ultimate X match. So there you go. That's how it lays out. Now, the people involved, I really wanted to get as many people, not only that I knew, because of course I can be a homer and put my friends in there because that's just the easy thing to do, right? But I wanted to get talent that I have either seen in person or worked with over the years, or just seen on TV and just go, why is this person not under contract somewhere, right? So for the Ultimate X match, I basically took the Cruiserweight boys and put them in the Ultimate X. I've got Dragon Lee. The man is Tyler Rust. He's Ryan Taylor out here for us Cali folk. Wonderful talent, great in-ring worker. I've seen him so many times. Tony Nese, who I still say was grossly underappreciated by WWE despite the TV exposure, and Jake Gallows, another guy who was in NXT for way too short a time, cup of coffee, maybe a little bit, maybe a pint of coffee, and then they let him go. These guys in this style of match, granted, these guys are 4 technically sound. These guys will go in the ring and wrestle, Bryan Danielson matches, CM Punk type matches, but they can also do amazing things if they're put in environments such as Ultimate X. So that's why I decided to put them in this environment, just to have it be the semi-main, the one to send us into the championship tournament final, and just turn these 4 guys loose. These guys are amazing talent. Now, I'm not going to reveal the winners of these tournaments or of this match. I want you guys at home to comment along as I go here and let me know who you think should win these matches. Ratnick, I'm about there. And because I have a 16-man World Championship tournament, I've got a 8-team tag team tournament, an 8-woman tournament, and then this match. So that's not too far off from where I am. Got to go with JJ and our boy Ryan Taylor to win. If I'm looking at the territory, which I am, I would pick Ryan as a fan because I think the most of him out of the 4 of these guys. All right, so now we get into the various tournaments, and I want to talk about the tag team tournament first because there's so much talent out there that's just sitting there doing nothing right now or waiting out a 90-day or whatever the case may be. So obviously this federation, this company will be formed after February 4th, right? Just make sure we get everybody in. But the tag team tournament looks like this. I'm going to bring this up bigger so I can actually see the people because it's very small for me, so I apologize. The Colognes. Primo and Epico in WWE, of course. Again, just a underutilized tag team for my money. They tried so many different gimmicks with these guys and just it didn't work for whatever reason. The Rock and Roll Express honestly threw in there just because I got to meet them on the cruise and I thought they were a great pair of guys. And they can still wrestle. They can still turn it up and still get a great match out of them. I wouldn't put them past the first round. Not going to lie. I'll throw that bone out there to you guys now. You definitely get the Colognes in the second round there. Jay and Mark Briscoe. Arguably the greatest tag team to have never actually worked in WWE in the last 20 years. Really, those guys are just so incredibly talented. They are a buzz wire, a hot wire for controversy, as they've proven many times over the years, without question. But I'd still hire them. The men we know as Breezango, Tyler Breeze and Fandango. House favorite. My dad and I love Fandango. We've loved him since he debuted, and beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. I mean, you don't get much better than that. Tyler Breeze, another guy who got quite a decent push in NXT, and then they put them together in NXT after the fact, and it just kind of seemed like there was no direction. I definitely hire those guys, put them in my tag team championship tournament. The men who formed half of Sanity in NXT, Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf. Again, I forget the real names. I apologize. Another great team that, God, Wolf was in 2 stables. He was in Sanity, and then he was part of Imperium there for a while, and it just didn't work out for him. He's the only one to have been cut out of Imperium. You still got Bartel and Eichel, and of course Walter. They're not going to cut Walter. They're tired, and that's stupid. Then you've got PCO and Brody King. Again, people might think that's a little bit of an odd selection for me, having a guy the age of Pierre Carl Ouellet's PCO, but he has completely reinvented himself here in recent years as PCO, the cyborg. So I definitely put him on my roster. And Brody King is just such a big hoss of a dude. They were great winners of the Crockett Cup. It was just a great great thing to see them in the NWA the brief time they were there. Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik were released. I understand Grand Metalik asked for his release, and they released Lindsay along with him. You know, you could put Samurai Del Sol in there with him. He was on AEW last week, so you know if he's there, cool. But definitely those two guys, just as a team for now, you probably put them in the X division, you know, later because they're both awesome with X division style. And then a team that probably might surprise people, but people don't remember they were a team. Blake and Murphy from NXT. Of course, Buddy Murphy, you know, got Rob later as a cruiserweight champion, got that storyline with Rollins and then with the Mysterio family. But Wesley Blake just he came back briefly as part of the Forgotten Sons, and he was definitely a Forgotten Son, and then just cast away. So those are the 8 teams I would build my tag team division around. And Caleb says Breezango wins the whole thing, former NXT champions, of course, but you know, keep in mind, Caleb, Sanity, former champions. PCO, former ROH and former NWA tag team champions. Blake and Murphy, former NXT tag team champions. Rock and Roll Express, multi-time NWA tag team champions. The Colognes, former WWE tag team champions. The Briscoes, the most prolific Ring of Honor tag team champions in history. So there's a lot there. Yes, and of course Rollins with Murphy with Seth Rollins as former Raw tag team champions. There you go. A lot of great talent there. See, JJ and Warhawk Rambo says flat out Briscoes. Okay, well, he's picking the Briscoes to win the whole thing. So JJ actually broke it down. I appreciate that, JJ. So Rock and Rolls over the Colognes, Briscoes over Breezango, and Briscoes over Rock and Rolls. That's pretty much what I had in mind. I'm not gonna lie, Jay. You know me too well, my friend. And then the Luchas over PCO and the semifinals, and okay, so PCO wins, the Luchas win, and then it's Briscoes over the Luchas. Briscoes win it all. There you go. There's JJ's pick right there. That's how I would start my tag team division if I was to take the unsigned talent or the Ring of Honor, for lack of a better term, castaways, releases, whatever you want to call them. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. The women's division. This was such a bitch. I'm not gonna lie, and only because so many of the awesome, talented women in wrestling right now are already signed. They're in Impact, they're in the NWA, they're in AEW, they're in WWE. But a lot of people don't realize how much talent is sitting there, you know, under the guise of the Ring of Honor bubble, and of course the WWE releases recently. So here's what I put together for the women. I went like this: Mandy Leon, part of Allure, along with Angelina Love, and for a time, Velvet Sky was part of that unit. Sort of a kind of offshoot of the Beautiful People. I mean, basically, for lack of a better term, a lot of people compare them to the Beautiful People, obviously, because of the membership similarities. Yes, I'm being very serious, actually. I'm like I said, I'm not usually a fantasy booker, but Bischoff saying what he said on social media just kind of got in my head. And I wanted to expand on it and just say, okay, here's what I would do if I had Tony Khan, Vince McMahon, whatever money, and could hire anybody I wanted to and do whatever I wanted to do with them. This is what I would do. So that's what I'm doing. All right, let's see what we got here. Give me 1 second here. I gotta. Oh, geez. Okay, this is embarrassing as hell. But okay. So so Mercedes Martinez is also again, she is one of the greatest lifelong independent wrestlers of the last couple decades in women's wrestling. She is just an unbelievable talent. Again, you can't say enough good things about her. She's just that good. And the fact that she got so little attention in NXT and got so, you know, just, I mean, completely thrown aside. She got put in that stupid stable with Ali and T-Bar and all Retribution. It's just horrible. I definitely book her. Ember Moon, my God. Trained by Booker T, been in NXT and WWE for such a long. People don't realize how long she's been there a long damn time already. Royal Rumble participant, NXT champion, NXT tag team champion. Should have been champion on the main roster. Never got the opportunity. Just ridiculous. Roxy, as of now, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Another talent who, I've never had the opportunity to see, but if you're the Ring of Honor Women's Champion in the division that had all the people I saw in that tournament, you've got my booking. Absolutely. 100%. Angelina Love, longtime favorite. Watched her, of course, in Impact Wrestling TNA back in the day. Founder of the Beautiful People with Velvet. Just wonderful, wonderful talent. She's got a great attitude, and I've always been a fan of hers. Definitely would bring her in. Mia Yim, another one who, honestly, Mia Yim, when I was helping book Wild Wrestling, the World Independent Ladies Division, God, over 10 years ago now, with another buddy of mine out here in California, we had our eye on Mia Yim. We had her verbally agreed upon to come in and work for us, and it never happened. She signed with TNA, and the rest is history. Off she went to the moon, right, for a while. And another one that's been jacked around. Unfortunately, her and Keith both got fired this last week, and it sucks. So definitely bring me in. Santana Garrett's the next. She's one of those ladies who has been in WWE and NXT, on and off the radar here for a very long time. Former NWA champion. I think former WoW champion, remember right? And of course, WoW is what it is now. Not going to get into that. It's just too much to divulge right now. To get into, it's a whole rabbit hole. But Santana is, and I had a chance to work in the same promotion as her a couple different times. She's great. I would love that. And then you got Taya Valkyrie. God, poor Taya. They bring her in, they strip away everything that was Taya about her, make her this Frankie Monet character, and then cut her loose after doing nothing with her. How the hell do you let Taya get away? How irresponsible is that as a company? Just horrible. Horrible. Mike says, I was hoping you're actually making it. Dude, I tell you, Mike, if I had the money, I would do it. 100% I would do it. Without hesitation. Let's see. Right. Imagine if Disney wanted to put together a wrestling show, especially since they need more content. They keep talking about Disney is going to purchase WWE. I'll believe that shit when I see it. So, we'll see if that plays out. JJ says Mercedes wins, Ember beats Mercedes, Angelina versus Taya in the semifinals, and Ember versus Angelina, and Ember goes over. Again, dude, you're like on the same wavelength me. I actually had Taya going to the finals in my own head, Jay, but I love that you put Angelina in there because you're familiar with Angelina. That's cool because I love Angelina too. Matt, I'm doing great, man. Just doing a bonus talk wrestling for 4 channels and 3 Twitter feeds tonight. I'm all over the place today, so I'm having fun. Warhawk Rambo says Taya versus Mia is what I have. That would be the semifinals. If you look at the brackets, Taya and Mia would be a semifinal match, Warhawk. So you probably want to. Who would you have on the other side? Is my next question. So yeah, that's who I would. That's who I would hire as far as my initial 8 women. And again, you've got tag titles, women's titles, the X Division Championship, which again, I was cruiserweight. Do I do X Division? I wouldn't actually call it X Division because I'm not allowed legally to do that, but it'd be something like that where it'd be an X Division style division where there's just, turn people loose and just go batshit crazy. So there you go. And yeah, exactly. There you go. Angelina being the vet could seriously help establish Ember to an audience that for whatever reason wouldn't be familiar with her. Good call, Jay. I agree. And then, so Warhawk has Taya versus Mia, and then Mercedes versus Ember. So, who would be your final 2, and who would win? Warhawk, you have my attention, sir. But my man, what do you think of the decline in AW ratings? I'm worried to lose momentum again. Not the topic for tonight, but I hope they have a great outing Saturday and a good go home pair of shows this week because I really want them to do well. I enjoy AEW very much. I got a chance to see a lot of their action on the cruise, the Chris Jericho cruise. Got to meet a lot of the talent I hadn't met before, see talent I haven't seen in a while. They really want to do well. They really want to make this company a success. So I hope they do. I 100% do. So let's get back to that and comments. Warlock says Mia and Mercedes, with Mia going over in a close, well-booked match. Love it. Love that. That's great. Joey Perez says where'd I go? For this thing, how about the high-speed division? I mean, pretty much, right? And yeah, Caleb, I agree as far as the AEW, TNT's happy with them. So if TNT's happy, they'll keep them around. That's all that matters. That's it. Ratings are everything. Ratings and revenue. That's what it amounts to. JR talks about cash and creative as far as the talent goes, but when it comes to a company, it's all about ratings and revenue. I do like Mountain Dew, but I don't like regular Mountain Dew as much as I like the varieties at the different fast food places. I love the Sweet Lightning flavor Mountain Dew at KFC, and I was a big fan of the Baja Blast at Taco Bell for a long time. I just haven't been at Taco Bell in forever, so I haven't had it in a long time, but I really love that Sweet Lightning Mountain Dew. That's delicious. So good. Let's see. For the women's tournament finals, I would put Mia and Roxy. That's a great match, too. Again, I tried very hard to not have people that that just haven't got attention and that people would enjoy watching on a show. JJ makes a good point about the wrestling business. And if you watch Dark Side of the Ring and the Story Trial, yeah, it's pretty much good call, Jay. Very good. Mike says, people think everyone can just go to AEW and TNA after WWE and Ring of Honor. There's only so much TV time for AEW, and TNA Impact doesn't have that much money. Exactly. That's why I have these people in front of you. So, all right. So now we've got the World Championship or the Heavyweight Championship, since I'm not going to try to make myself too braggadocious. Think I'm going to have a world status, right? Warhawks. Oh, Mia. Oh, yeah. You know what? Mia. God, I know where Mia is from, and it's a blank in my head. You have to message me off air because I remember her being close to me as well, if I remember right, and it was easy to book her. That's one of the reasons why we had her on the radar. All right, World Championship tournament. Here it is. I mean, boom. Here we go. Just gonna jump right in. 16 people. I wanted to make this worth something because it's the main championship of the company. So Chris Dickinson, if you've watched the United Wrestling Network NWA collaboration Primetime Live, you've seen him. He's been in Ring of Honor recently. One of the great independent talents in recent years. Just another guy who has that potential to be a breakout star in any company he goes to work for, right? The man we know is Braun Strowman. Adam, I can't remember his name. Adam Scher, I think it's how you say his name. That dude signs himself. I mean, just a big, strong beast of a guy. EC3, another guy who, if you're on the WQ channel right now watching me, we give EC3 some massive shit. Always. But another guy who, unfortunately has been given the shit bag here recently by WWE and by the companies he's worked for. Steve Cutler, I believe, is now with Impact. I know that's not his actual name, but that's how I know him, as Steve Cutler. But if he's not, or even if he is, the forbidden door's open, right? Hell, I'll book him. Another guy that was with WWE and just kind of got lost in the shuffle there. Kenny King. I love Kenny King. I love Kenny King from the moment I saw him in Ring of Honor and then in Impact. He is just a all-around great talent. And from what I've heard in recent years, an all-around great person, right? So you definitely want a guy like that on your roster. The man we knew is Bronson Reed, NXT, former NXT North American champion. I had him pegged to be the NXT World Champion, and then they released him too. Just ridiculous. Harry Smith. This is the most tragic, I think, of all the releases. It's so bogus. Like, I can't even express enough how much that release just pisses my ass off. They signed him back to the company and didn't do a thing with him. So ridiculous. What? Oh, DC. Okay, my bad. Sorry. I for some reason I thought she was a SoCal girl. Anyway, God, Harry Smith was signed to a contract, didn't even get on TV to do anything, and then they let him go again. It's like, man, he could have stayed in Japan, made that money, gone to any other company and made that money if he wanted to. And he's been sitting here being dicked around. Now he has to wait 90 days. So bogus. Maybe 30. Dalton Castle, another guy who I only got to see in Ring of Honor and only really got to see in the last couple years, catching up on Ring of Honor TV. What a great talent. What an unbelievable amount of charisma on this guy. Just ridiculous. Keith Lee, again, much like Mia, just heartbreaking story to watch him get jerked around like they did with him. This stupid Bearcat thing. And this, Kona Reeves, another guy, NXT. You know, I got to see him in the Indies. The dude has just got potential. And again, I've been using that word a lot, potential tonight, but he is a talent who did not get a chance to show what he can really do. And I would definitely give him the opportunity. However, I booked him after this tournament. Mike Kanellis, or Mike Bennett, excuse me, along with his wife, Maria Kanellis. They are a package deal. I didn't include Matt Taven, by the way, completely by accident. They seem to be booking Matt and Mike as a team in the NWA right now. They were on By Any Means Necessary last week. I have to watch today's show still. Anyway, so that's but I would definitely bring Mike. I got to see Mike and Chris wrestle for the United Wrestling Network Championship. I was supposed to be there live for it because it was gonna be out here. They ended up doing it in Georgia. Great match. Oh my god, was it good? Both those guys definitely on my roster. PJ Black. A lot of you guys don't recognize the name or the look he has now. Justin Gabriel from the original Nexus, the original NXT season 1, the very first NXT before NXT became an actual brand. Another guy who just the Darewolf. You know, he had his run in WWE. I think he was in a car accident or some sort of accident, doing some sort of stunt work or whatever, and then has come back and just is kicking major ass again. Jay Lethal. And I realized I put Jay Lethal and Bandito in a match against each other in the first round. It just seemed to work for me. Both those guys are, you know, you say Ring of Honor, you think Jay Lethal. You say Ring of Honor right now, you think Bandito, the most recent world champion. These two guys, and especially Jay Lethal. How long have we watched Jay Lethal? I remember him and Kurt Angle in 2007. He was great then. He's gotten even better since he left TNA for good and became arguably the face of Ring of Honor. Great wrestler. Great human being, too. Killer Cross, man. I mean, Killer Cross and Scarlett. How do you let these two people get away? How do you consciously release these two people? Oh, my goodness. Like, oh, Lord. And then Bateman, a lot of people might not recognize. He's been in Ring of Honor in the last few years. He started out here in SoCal. He's a SoCal boy. And he's graduated and become one of the best talents you don't know in wrestling over the last 2, 3, 4 years, I'd say. Just unbelievable wrestler, unbelievable talent, and just a great joy to have in the locker room, right? So there's my 16. Do with them what you will in the chat room. That's what I would do. Those are the people I would book. Let's see what we got here. All right, we're gonna go way back here. Let's see. We got Chico Ming says, but Strowman at one stage was so over WWE really dropped the ball with him. They sure did. Warhawks an EC3 fan. I love it. Mike says Keith Lee wins the whole thing. There you go. Warhawk says Kenny King's a great heel. He is, absolutely. Keith Lee is overrated. I disagree. I think he's undervalued. Chico Ming, I really do. Daniel says the men's finals I would have Adam Scherer versus Keith Lee. That's a great final. I like that with Keith Lee winning. I like that. That's very cool. JJ, I'll get to yours momentarily. Let's see. Keith Lee was fired because he kept sniffing. Okay, well, whatever. There's always one. And to think Keith Lee at one time held the same time the NXT championship. Yeah, he was a double champion in NXT. And yes, PJ was part of the core. That's right. I forgot about that. And yes, he does look different, completely different. I don't have the Discord. I did at one time when I was part of this Star Trek fan club thing, and then I just kind of didn't use it. Yep, Black Machismo. There you go. Triple H is going to regret marrying Seth if they sell the company. They for sure. All right, we're done with you. Thanks for sharing. Thanks. We're done. Goodbye. Anyway, I'm good with that. Thank you. Let's see. Keith, yeah, he's not overrated at all. It's just that was a silly statement. One time Jay Lethal was known as Black Machismo. Yes, he was. I remember. I love the Black Machismo gimmick. Randy Savage loved the Black Machismo gimmick. That's when I met Jay Lethal, was when he was Black Machismo. Such a great guy. Such a cool dude. All right, JJ's breakdown. Here we go. Strowman over Dickinson, EC3 over Steve Cutler, Kenny King over Bronson Reed, Harry Smith over Dalton Castle, and then in the next round, Braun over EC3, Harry Smith over Kenny King, and Braun goes to the finals on that bracket side. Okay, I like that so far. Keith Lee over Kona Reeves, Mike Bennett over Justin Gabriel, PJ Black. I know, Jay, I'm just giving you crap. Jay Leaf over Bandito, Killer Cross over Bateman, Mike Bennett over Keith Lee. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Killer Cross over Jay Lethal, Killer Cross to the finals. And then JJ says Braun versus Killer Cross in the finals with Braun winning. You know, JJ has just been in my head for too long as my roommate, as one of my best friends, because that is exactly what I had booked in my head. And the reason I had Braun winning is the return of Bray Wyatt to wrestling and him helping Braun win. Dude, just get out of my brain, dude. Seriously. That's what I've been doing. That'd be the big surprise at my show, would be the return of Bray Wyatt when the return of the wrestling would be in my company, since he hasn't been announced for anybody else except the movie thing. So there you go. Good call, Jay. Warlock Rainbow says Strowman versus Lethal with Leno with. I like that too. Anytime Jay Lethal gets over, I'm with it, brother. I think exactly. And there's the reason why, brother. That's it. And Jay Lethal did make a great Ric Flair too, no question about it. I am wearing NWO stuff because of Mark Bagwell, my buddy, who, you know, we lost. Mark lost his mom on Friday. I can't imagine losing my mom. When we lost my grandmother, my dad's mom, 8 years ago, it was almost as tragic as losing my own mother. I can't even. You could tell he had the 3 days to process it. When I talked to him on the phone on yesterday, I can't imagine processing that in 3 days. I think her being sick prior to catching the COVID helped him with the idea that, okay, she's going to go. It was just the sudden nature of the fact that she got the virus, and then that was it. Here's the one for the night across the board. That's the fucked up part about this COVID, man. It's, you know, somebody's sick and they catch it, it just amplifies it, makes it so much worse. I can't express enough how important it is to keep each other healthy and keep yourselves healthy. Anyway, love it, Daniel. I appreciate that, brother. That's cool. Yeah, I had my NWO hat on yesterday during Talk Wrestling, and so that was fun. I'll probably, if I can find, I got NWO stuff all over this house. I just got to find it to wear throughout the week. I want to honor Mark for the week at least. Honor Judy, I should say. So yeah, that's what it is, folks. That's what I would do. I would have that tournament go the way it was, and like you said, JJ called my final, man. Strowman over Adam Scherr over Killer Cross with Bray Wyatt helping him win the title. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I've had a few friends contracted. They're on the mend. They're better, but you know, I mean, Judy was in her 70s, you know, and it's just all the stuff she had going on. It's going to happen. So anyway, that's all for my talking head for the night. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's late. It's almost 10:40 back in the East. So I appreciate you guys staying up after NXT with me. Much appreciated. A lot of cool stuff coming up tomorrow across the board. If you're watching the Greg Cherry brand or my channel right now, we're going to have the Greg Cherry show, of course, at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. We're going to talk about everything. I don't think we have heard Greg's reaction to the releases yet. So that'll be interesting to hear what he has to say. Notre Dame played over the weekend. The Steelers pulled one out last night. My God, good on them. That'll be on our two channels. The Renegade, JJ Williams, will be reviewing Da Vinci Code as part of Tom Hanks Month. That's going to be cool to hear his thoughts on Da Vinci Code. And of course, Aaron tomorrow night, pretty much in this time slot, will be reviewing AEW Dynamite as he does on Wednesdays. So everybody tune in wherever you're watching me right now. Make sure you come back here tomorrow for all new content. And then Thursday, same thing. Greg's got WTC, the second match of the first round. Aaron will have the No DQ review with Virtue and everybody. JJ will have another Tom Hanks movie. And I will have an interview with the NWA's Joe Galley on Veterans Day. We're going to talk with the play-by-play man of the NWA and get his thoughts on what's going on in the NWA and professional wrestling. So it'll be wonderful to hear from Joe. Joe's a friend from the NWA Hollywood days, so it'll be cool to talk to Joe face to face. Wink, wink. JJ says the idea to have Mike and Maria and Cross Scarlet and semis just made for a hell of a dynamic in my head. I love for Joey Styles to be on commentary for. That's right. You know, as much as we don't want to categorize the girls into the Catholic at this point, Maria and Scarlett are two of the most beautiful women in recent wrestling memory. So I'm okay with them having a beef. That's great on me. I love it. And then let's see, yes, Thursday, so Friday, JJ and I are back with our Dad's episode, the best movies in the history of Pixar. That'll be on Dad's on Friday, and Aaron will have his review of Friday Night SmackDown. So that's what's coming up for us here across the affiliates of the Jumping True Network and everybody involved with us. Thank you guys so much again for watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. I really and yes, they are feisty, they're frisky, they're all the above, Jay. You got that right, brother. Again, we'll be back tomorrow night, starting at 7 o'clock with the Greg Cherry brand, and then off we go to the races, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.